Have you ever felt just, well, completely exhausted? Or maybe like you're underperforming in your workouts, hitting a wall,
Mm,
or perhaps you're stuck on one of those weight loss plateaus that just won't shift. It's really frustrating, isn't it?
it absolutely is.
And often, the real reason isn't that you're not putting in the effort. It could be subtle things in your diet, maybe some hidden inflammation.
Right, or those micronutrient gaps we don't always think about.
Exactly, or even just not getting enough recovery. So, in this deep dive, we're focusing on something that could be a real game changer, mastering the synergy between nutrition and fitness.
Your synergy, yeah.
Our mission today is to unpack the key ideas from the source, Funlocking Health, the nutrition and fitness synergy. We want to pull out the most important bits of knowledge and practical advice for you.
And understanding this connection, this synergy, it's so crucial because, as we'll explore, these seemingly small factors, things you might overlook every day, they can have really profound impacts on your energy, your vitality, your long-term health.
Yeah, it's about seeing how it all links together.
Precisely. Connecting those dots that maybe aren't obvious at first glance.
Okay, so let's dive into it. The source, Unlocking Health, it starts off by painting a pretty stark picture of where lots of us actually are with nutrition.
It does. It sets a sobering baseline.
Take the UK, for instance. Get this. Only about a third of adults are actually eating the recommended 5 or more portions of fruit and veg each day. Only a third.
That's surprisingly low, isn't it? Considering how long that message has been out there.
It really is. And fiber intake is critically low. Most adults are getting maybe 16 grams a day.
Which is barely half the recommended 30 grams.
Exactly, just over half. And then there's sugar. Free sugars make up around 10% of daily calories for kids and adults. That's double the guideline of 5%.
Double. Wow.
And saturated fat. Most people are consuming way more than the healthy limits. It kind of suggests we might be, accidentally working against our own health goals.
And what really stands out there, beyond just the numbers, are the wider implications. That low fiber intake you mentioned, it's not just about digestion.
Right.
It's fundamental for your gut microbiome. Low fiber often means poor gut health, and that's directly linked to chronic inflammation throughout the body.
Inflammation. Yeah, I keep hearing about that link.
It influences your immune system, your mood, your energy, pretty much everything. It's a cornerstone that's often missed, even though we all know fiber is good for us.
And it gets even more specific when you look at micronutrients. The source points out some concerning gaps, like up to 1 in 4 adolescents and almost 1 in 5 adults in the UK have clinically low vitamin D.
Clinically low, that's significant.
It is. And even more startling, over 80% of women of childbearing age, they have low folate status.
80%, that's huge.
Huge. And iodine is another one. Intake is often insufficient, especially for adolescent girls and women.
So this raises a really important question, doesn't it? How might these subtle but quite widespread deficiencies be impacting you? Your day-to-day energy, maybe your concentration, your general resilience, without you even realizing it.
Yeah, because you might not connect feeling sluggish to, say, low vitamin D.
Exactly. These are often the first things that suffer when those nutrient gaps hang around for a while.
Okay, so that's the nutrition side, but here's where it gets really interesting. Our physical activity habits show a kind of similar pattern of missed targets.
The other side of the coin.
In the UK, only about a third of men and even fewer women, only a quarter, meet both the aerobic and the muscle strengthening guidelines.
Both. That's the key part. Many people do one or the other, maybe.
Right. And for older adults, say 65 and over, it's less than 1 in 5 hitting those crucial strength and balance exercise targets.
And if we zoom out, look at the global picture. This inactivity isn't just a UK issue. Globally, over 30% of people just don't get enough physical activity.
Wow, 30%.
Yeah. And sitting too much, sedentary behavior, it's increasingly seen as a major risk factor for chronic diseases, right up there with poor diet.
So it's not just what you eat, it's how much you move or don't move.
Absolutely. They work together or sometimes against each other. The global challenge of inactivity is just as big as the dietary quality one.
But, okay, there is a glimmer of hope here in the data. Fitness engagement figures show nearly half of UK adults, around 48% now, do participate in regular exercise.
Okay, that's encouraging.
Yeah, it shows a gradual increase, which suggests people are looking for ways to be more active.
That's a positive trend, definitely.
So given these challenges, what's the solution? How do we move forward? Unlocking Health really zeroes in on that synergy, the idea that nutrition and fitness aren't separate goals, they're powerful partners.
Partners, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like Take protein and energy. The general advice is about 0.75 grams of protein per kilo of body weight per day.
Okay, the baseline.
But if you're active, exercising regularly, that need jumps up significantly, maybe to 1.2 or even 2.0 grams per kilo.
And what's fascinating here is it's not just about hitting that total number. It's how you spread that protein intake across your day.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, having protein fairly consistently with each meal helps optimize something called muscle protein synthesis.
Hmm.
Basically, it keeps the rebuilding and repair process ticking over constantly.
So better recovery.
Much better recovery than just having, say, one huge protein-loaded dinner.
Yeah.
It maximizes how your body uses it. That's key for bouncing back from workouts.
Right, makes sense. And then there are carbohydrates. We can't forget those for performance.
Absolutely essential.
Getting enough carbs gives you energy, helps with endurance, and speeds up recovery too if you don't get enough. Well, you can expect fatigue, poor concentration, slower progress. Think about it. Carbs don't just fuel the workout itself, they actually help spare protein.
Yes, so the protein can focus on muscle repair instead of being burned for energy.
That's synergy right there. And this loops us back to gut health and inflammation again.
It always comes back to the gut, doesn't it?
It seems so. Increasing fiber benefits your gut microbes and helps lower inflammation. There's even this trend called fiber maxing, which sounds intense, but it's really about gradually increasing fiber.
Gradually is the key word there.
Yes, gradually. So your gut adapts, you avoid discomfort, but you still get those big benefits.
And it just highlights again why fiber is so foundational. We're learning more and more about the gut-brain axis.
The gut-brain axis, right.
It's not just a vague idea. It's a real two-way communication channel. Your gut health influences neurotransmitters like serotonin, your stress response, energy levels, even your mood. It's central.
Okay, so this understanding is crucial, but what about the practical side? Our deep dive wouldn't be complete without looking at trends and tools making health goals maybe a bit more achievable.
True, the landscape is changing.
Let's explore how these might help you on your journey. Innovations in digital tools are big. Wearable tech, top fitness trend.
Unsurprisingly.
Followed by mobile apps and also exercise programs designed specifically for older adults, which is great to see. Plus, AI is making strides in nutrition personalization, helping plan meals, track intake in real time.
Which raises an important question. How can these tech advances actually help you close that gap between knowing what to do and, well, actually doing it consistently?
Good question. How do they help?
Well, they provide data, feedback, personalized guidance. It makes monitoring your activity, your sleep, your food intake much more visible and hopefully actionable. They can act like a personal coach in your pocket almost.
That sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah.
But just to play devil's advocate, is there a risk of relying too much on tech? Does it take away from just listening to your body or building basic habits?
That's a really valid point, and the source does touch on this. These tools are best viewed as enhancements,
Yeah.
aids, not replacements for fundamental habits and self-awareness.
Yeah.
Over-reliance without understanding why you're doing something could lead to problems, but honestly, for most people, the awareness and tracking benefits probably outweigh that risk, especially as the tech gets smarter and more user-friendly.
Got it. So enhancements, not cure-alls. We're also seeing broader shifts in nutrition and culture, right?
Definitely.
There's a clear move towards diets that are sustainable. Focus on nutrient density, whole foods.
Yes, less processed, more whole.
And lots of people are swapping out red and processed meats for things like legumes, plant-based proteins.
That's a noticeable trend.
National dietary guidelines are also becoming more flexible, emphasizing personalized eating patterns rather than a strict one-size-fits-all model.
Which makes sense physiologically.
And culturally, people seem to be viewing diet less just about weight loss and more as a tool for energy, mental clarity, overall wellness.
That's a positive shift in perspective. Now, what's fascinating here relates to cost. High food prices are a genuine barrier for many people.
A huge barrier.
Absolutely. But the emphasis on whole, unprocessed foods, things like beans, lentils, whole grains, seasonal veg, can actually be more budget-friendly in the long run compared to relying on lots of highly processed convenience foods or meat-heavy diets.
Interesting point. So it's about smart planning, maybe.
Exactly. Informed choices, planning meals, cooking from scratch more often.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be more expensive necessarily.
Okay. So ultimately, while things like supplements and AI health tools are getting popular, the source really brings it back home. consistent foundational habits are still the most important thing for your health.
Consistency trumps almost everything else in the long run.
Right. So with all this information, let's unpack some practical essentials from the source. How can you build your own balanced nutrition and fitness plan?
Okay, let's break it down.
First, nutrition essentials. Aim for at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day, minimum.
The 5-a-day baseline.
Gradually increase your fiber towards that 30 grams a day goal, and crucially, drink plenty of water as you do.
Hydration is key with fiber, yes.
Keep free sugars under 5% of your daily energy, saturated fats under 10%, and adjust your protein intake based on how active you are, somewhere in that 0.75 to 2.0 grams per kilo range.
Tailored to your needs.
Prioritize complex carbs, especially around your workouts, for fuel and recovery. And just be mindful of those potential deficiencies. Vitamin D, folate, iodine. Maybe get checked if you're concerned.
Good summary. What about fitness?
Okay, fitness essentials. Aim for 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week. That could be brisk walking, cycling, swimming.
Spread it out through the week.
Yes. Plus, strength training twice a week, working all major muscle groups.
Crucial for metabolism and bone health.
Absolutely. And incorporate balance and coordination exercises, especially important as we get older.
Very important for fall prevention.
Consider using those digital tools we talked about, wearables, apps to track your activity, maybe your sleep, even your nutrition. That feedback loop helps.
It keeps you honest sometimes.
It does, and this is vital. Don't forget mental health, sleep, and recovery. They aren't optional extras, they're integral parts of fitness.
Totally integrated.
Yeah.
You can't outtrain poor sleep or high stress indefinitely.
So true. Finally, some lifestyle and behavior tools. Maybe look into personalized nutrition apps or even get support from a registered dietitian if you need more tailored guidance.
Professional help can make a big difference.
Think about shifting towards a more plant-forward way of eating more legumes, whole grains, seeds, nuts, vegetables, nutrient powerhouses.
Plant forward, not necessarily plant exclusive.
Exactly. And above all, prioritize consistency. Build habits you actually find enjoyable or at least tolerable so you can stick with them long term.
That sustainability piece is everything.
Okay, so pulling it all together, the source really concludes that peak fitness and nutrition, it's not about extreme measures.
No, it's about those consistent, evidence-based habits. This synergy we've been talking about, as our deep dive shows, it really is your best bet for long-term health and vitality.
Yeah.
It's about combining those nutrient-rich, fiber-dense whole foods, getting your protein and carbs right for your activity level, balanced movement, and yes, using technology smartly to guide you, being aware of potential nutrient gaps, but also building in essential rest, recovery, and finding some actual joy in the process.
Finding the joy, I like that. So to wrap up, here's a final thought for you, the listener. Given how few of us, statistically, are consistently hitting even the basic guidelines for nutrition and activity.
Yeah, the numbers were quite sobering.
They were. So what's one small, maybe even enjoyable habit you could introduce this week? Just one thing to start building your own health synergy. And how might that single choice begin to ripple outwards, maybe leading to more energy, more clarity for you? Something to think about.